So, Prakash, you've talked about efficiency being the emerging theme in AI, and DeepSeek seems to be at the center of this conversation. What's so special about their approach?
Yeah. So the groundbreaking thing with DeepSeek is how their algorithm works. Traditionally, AI models rely heavily on brute force, using massive amounts of processing power to get results. But DeepSeek takes a completely different approach. Their algorithm actually prioritizes analyzing the relationships in data, which, interestingly enough, allows them to achieve similar performance, sometimes even better, with far less computational effort.
Wait, hang on. You're saying they're doing more with less?
Exactly. And that's what's causing such a stir. It's an efficiency game changer. By reducing the energy and infrastructure needed for AI training, their model makes high performance AI more accessible and way less expensive.
Okay, but how does that stack up against traditional metrics? Like, what's the benchmark here?
Good question. In AI, we're increasingly focusing on metrics like performance per watt. That's about how much computational power you get for every unit of energy consumed. Then there's the cost of training, how expensive it is to develop and improve these models. With DeepSeek, both of those are dramatically optimized. Their efficiency is, well, remarkable, especially when operational costs in AI are soaring year over year.
Hmm. So it's not just about capability anymore, it's about capability plus efficiency?
Exactly, capability with efficiency. To give this some context, think about what happened in high frequency trading. When AI first got integrated there, it wasn't just about who had the most powerful models, it was also about who could execute the fastest with the least waste of resources. Efficiency became the competitive edge. I think we're seeing a similar narrative playing out here with DeepSeek.
Right. So AI evolution isn't just pushing boundaries, it's pulling back too, squeezing more out of every resource. 300. What's fascinating here is how a single innovation can flip the whole game.
Completely. DeepSeek's model has the potential to redefine the industry standard. If this becomes scalable, it's not just going to shift priorities, it could fundamentally reshape how the AI field operates.
Prakash, with DeepSeek's innovations shaking up the AI landscape, one of the most striking ripples has been Nvidia's stock dropping by almost 18%. That's a huge number. What's driving such a strong reaction?
Yeah, it really is striking. NVIDIA's business heavily depends on selling these advanced, high powered chips that are used for AI training. DeepSeek's model, though, changes the equation. It focuses on efficiency over sheer power, and that raises questions about whether hardware investments are going to decline.
So people are nervous that demand for Nvidia's chips might shrink?
Exactly. Investors are reacting to the possibility that DeepSeek's approach could cut into NVIDIA's core market. Now, we don't know if the entire industry will shift toward this lower power model, but the potential is enough to rattle confidence, especially in a market that's already hypersensitive to innovation.
And it wasn't just Nvidia, right? Microsoft and Alphabet also took hits, down 4% and 3%. Is that connected to the same fear, or is something else at play?
It's definitely connected. For those tech giants, the concern is broader. They've spent billions building their AI capabilities, and a disruption like this forces them to reassess strategies. You know, these companies have historically relied on those larger, more resource intensive models. If the industry pivots toward efficiency, they'll need to adapt, and fast.
But do you think they can? These are massive companies with what? Basically unlimited resources.
That's a good question. Their size is both their strength and their challenge. They have the resources to innovate, but history shows us that nimble startups often have the edge when it comes to disruptive tech. Kodak is a prime example. They created digital photography but couldn't let go of their traditional business model. It's a cautionary tale.
Ah, Kodak. Yeah, that's a story people always bring up when it comes to disruption. So could DeepSeek be their Kodak moment?
Maybe. It depends on how adaptable they are. Microsoft and Alphabet have shown in the past that they can pivot when needed. Look at Microsoft embracing cloud computing under Satya Nadella. It was a huge course correction and it paid off. The question is whether they see DeepSeek's model as a threat or an opportunity, and how quickly they can respond.
So it's a race, not just between companies, but between strategies. Who can adapt faster? Who can innovate smarter?
Exactly. And with DeepSeek, it's not just about innovation, it's about redefining innovation. That's a much bigger hurdle for these incumbents. They're not just tweaking, they're potentially overhauling their entire approach.
And all of this, it's not just about profits or market share. It's about survival, right? Especially in such a fast moving space like AI.
Absolutely. In the tech world, standing still is the same as falling behind. The companies that survive disruption are the ones constantly anticipating the next big shift and positioning one step ahead of it.
Prakash, we closed on a big point about survival and staying ahead in this disruptive era. So, for our listeners, especially the investors, what does this actually mean in practical terms? How should they navigate such a turbulent landscape?
Well, to start, diversification remains the cornerstone of investing, even more so in volatile times like these. By spreading investments across sectors, not just tech, but also traditional industries, investors reduce their exposure to sudden upheavals in any one area. It's essential right now, especially with AI showing it can shake up even the most established players.
Right, don't put all your eggs in the Nvidia or Microsoft basket, basically.
Exactly. But even within tech, investors need to expand their horizons. Efficiency is the future. Look at companies like DeepSeek, which emphasize delivering results without ballooning energy or hardware costs. That focus on ROI, return on investment, per watt or per resource, that's going to separate the winners from the rest.
So it's not just about flashy innovations. People need to dig deeper, figure out who's optimizing smartly, not just growing quickly.
Absolutely. And of course, geopolitical factors can't be ignored here. China emerging as a leader in AI fundamentally changes the game. Investors in Western markets need to consider how this shift might impact supply chains or market dominance.
Yeah, it's becoming more of a global chessboard every day. So what? Keep an eye on those global power dynamics and their ripple effects on industries.
Exactly. Because it's not just about tech. If this push for efficiency starts affecting industries like, say, energy, transportation, or even healthcare, it could redefine how businesses operate. That's something smart investors will want to pay attention to before it fully unfolds.
There's definitely a bigger picture here. It's less about reacting to trends and more about anticipating systemic changes. Kind of forward thinking investing?
Exactly. And if I could add one last point, don't overlook the philosophical side of this. This focus on doing more with less. It feels like we're rethinking what innovation means. In some ways, it's not just about breaking boundaries anymore. It's also about redefining how we think about growth and progress itself.
That's such a great point. It's like we're entering a whole new phase where success isn't just bigger and bolder, but, well, smarter. And that mindset could reshape businesses and investments far beyond AI.
Exactly. Efficiency is a lens, a way of looking at opportunities differently. That's something investors, businesses, and even societies need to keep in mind as they navigate this transformation.
So if we had to boil it all down, adapt, diversify, and think beyond the obvious.
Ride on. The future's going to belong to the adaptable and the informed. In a landscape as dynamic as this, taking a longer view and being ready to evolve is what's going to make all the difference.
Prakash, as always, you've given us so much to think about. And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on today's deep dive. This is definitely just the beginning of conversations like these.
Absolutely. Stay curious, stay informed, and don't be afraid to challenge your assumptions. That's how we collectively shape the future, isn't it?
Well said. On that note, we'll catch you next time. Take care, everyone.